So welcome back everybody, I'm Crypto Nobes. In today's video I'm going to be going over the market considering we are in a very bad period at the minute. I'm also going to hopefully be giving you guys some reassurance, and I'm hopefully also going to point out the reasons to why it has happened like it has now. If you take any value from this video, a like, a subscribe, or any feedback is always greatly appreciated. Let's jump straight into the video, guys. So if we take a look at the current state of the market, it is in a very bad position at the minute. Just over the last 48 hours, we have had about $100 billion wiped off the market, which is not a good sign. And the rest of the market has taken a very big fallback. Bitcoin taking about a 15% fallback, as well as everything else taking a 20 to 30% fallback. I saw this yesterday on my phone. My phone was non-stop going up yesterday with alerts, and I ended up just taking myself away from it because this is a stage where it can cause a lot of stress. Now, I'm going to go over why I think it's nothing to worry about just yet. Now, even though the market is in a very bad position at the minute, let me tell you why I am not panicking just yet. Now, here is the stock to flow model. I've talked about this multiple times, but I talk about it for a very good reason, for the simple fact that we are still on course. At the minute, we are still on course for this for the Bitcoin going to a very high price. It is following it very accurately. We are here. If we have a look here, it is going on a pullback point. Now, it's all very important what happens from this point in. I'm going to show you $100 trillion USD. You guys should definitely check this guy out. He is a very big crypto and Bitcoin advocate. He is very trusted as well. He is the guy who made or created the stock to flow, and he made it trending. I don't know whether or not he created the measurement model, but either way, it is a very good model. He tweeted saying that we are still on track. It's still a fair price. And yesterday he tweeted, on days like this, I switch off my monitors and go for a run in the woods. And that's what I highly recommend from a lot of you. I have personally been checking the market pretty much every day for the past year. And it's not good. When signs like this happen, it can cause a lot of stress, and it can cause a lot of panic. It can open a lot of emotions. And that's why it is sometimes best to just put the monitor down and just walk away from it. If you are a true believer, that is the case. Obviously, if you're not a true believer and you're just trying to make a quick buck out of it, that's where you can panic because you don't believe in it. It's still fine. He tweeted this 15 hours ago at $5,800. It's still fine. It's still in the target zone, which is positive for the moment. All I can say, guys, is don't panic just yet. Let me give you another reason why. We have the Bitcoin halving coming up in May. Now, that's a massive reason why you should not panic just yet. Now, statistically, based off history, it has always gone up after the halving. It's just a case of, does it do it this time? Now, in my opinion, those of you that have been following the crypto space for longer than even a year, I would say, you don't even have to be following it that long. But a lot of you would agree with me that the progress the cryptocurrency market has made over the past 2 years, maybe even 3 years, is unbelievable, to the point where you are seeing all the biggest companies in the world rather working with it, not necessarily Bitcoin, but the blockchain. Now, in my head, personally, now I could be wrong, don't get me wrong, but in my head, personally, if Bitcoin was going to fail, or the crypto market was going to fail, it would have failed 2-3 years ago when it first come out, 2-3 years ago, 4-5 years ago, or even in 2008 when it first come out, it would have failed then. It would have failed ages ago. I personally now cannot, I would be gobsmacked personally if it failed, purely because you have got people like Apple, Microsoft, Facebook. Just those 3 names that I mentioned alone have unbelievable amount of power and money, and they are looking at the crypto space, as well as majority of banks around the world now, which is again very important. Now, I just personally cannot see it failing. If it does, I'll be so surprised. Really surprised. And obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, and I've only been looking at a few things. the thing that I looked at and that has blown my mind the past 2 days is the fact, not the past 2 days, past week, sorry, is the stock market crashing. Now, Peter Schiff, if you look at my other videos, I put in a clip multiple times about Peter Schiff talking about that we are expecting this to happen. So I never went to the stock market purely because I knew this was going to happen. Not new, but I had a suspicion because I had learnt off someone else who knows what they're talking about that something like this was going to happen. We haven't had a crash since 2008 in the stock market, and now we have been the longest period of time without a crash. You have also got the coronavirus. Now, the coronavirus, I think, is a massive, massive, massive deal with this. Now, with the stock market, you have got loads of people, for example, with the stock market, you've got loads of people cashing out. Now, we have already hit into a point of panic. The whole world is panicking and you're going into lockdown. Now, what my opinion is of what's going to happen is this is going to continue. Not necessarily go all the way down to 1,000, because if it goes down to 1,000, then I'll be panicking myself personally. But so far, we are holding at the prices that it's at, okay? Now, what is very, very, very important over the next 3 months or even 2 months is we can hold above certain resistance points, because here's what I think will go down. The coronavirus is being a massive outbreak. Personally, I don't think it is as big as a deal as the media is portraying. That's how I tend to look at stuff. Whatever the media pump the most, it tends to be not as big as a deal as they're making it out, or they tend to over-exaggerate it. I know certainly with the British media, they are in major panic right now, and they are literally making everyone panic. Now, I'm trying to stay calm as possible, because that's the best thing you can do, because if you panic, you release emotions like stress and anger and stuff like that, and that is what makes you ill, and that's what they want. So, in my opinion, that like the coronavirus, here's what I think will happen. I could be completely wrong. But the coronavirus is going to get worse, okay? Now, in the next 3 months, I think what is going to happen is you're going to see everything go to shit, basically. You're going to see everything. You're going to see more and more countries go on lockdown. You're going to see schools. You're going to see sporting events. I know with the Premier League, Arsenal, the team that I support, their manager, Mikel Arteta, as well as many, many other footballers, Man City, Juventus, PSG, Borussia Dortmund, the biggest soccer/football teams in the world, they also have now started getting the coronavirus, to the point where the people in charge of making the matches are now closing, is stopping. So I think what's going to happen is the world's going to go into a major panic mode. So once the world goes into a major panic mode, I think shit's going to get real. After that shit gets real, I think personally, after the Bitcoin halving, people are going to open their eyes, not necessarily to Bitcoin, but the whole crypto market. If people open their eyes to the whole crypto market, because of this, like such diseases, people are going to be worried about diseases in the future. They're going to be worried about viruses in the future. And in my opinion, when it comes to digital, you're taking away a big majority of the viruses, because you're not touching notes. Notes can be passed around. Notes can be sneezed on. Notes can be used for drugs. Digital side of that cannot happen. It's a case of you're keeping your hands to yourself. You haven't even got to necessarily even touch phones or whatever, because they're right next to each other. Now, we are still on course, guys. Now, I know I have been ranting, so if any of you have actually managed to make it this far, guys, this is nothing to worry about just yet, okay? Thank you for watching this far, but I just want to say, do not panic just yet. I have a substantial amount of money in this crypto market, and I'm basically all in, and I'm still staying hopeful. I'm not personally going to get worried, or I'm not going to panic until after May. I'm not going to, maybe July, or let's say June. But after that, we'll have to see what happens. But if you guys took any value from this video, a like, a subscribe, or any feedback is always greatly appreciated. I've been Crypto Noobs. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.